It's not hypothetical. It's not like she put a hyphen on it. She is by law legally. Her driver's license, her passport says Tatum. She's officially a part of my family.
Right. But here's the thing: there are women who will go through all those steps. They'll change their last name. There's the marriage certificate, etc., and divorce still happens.
The thing that Brian is missing here so massively is, why do divorces happen? A lot of the times women initiate divorce because they don't feel emotionally supported. And why is this? This is because men oftentimes, unfortunately, are socialized not to express very many emotions, and if they do, it's kind of seen as a weak thing. So men hardly have a good understanding of themselves emotionally. It's going to be incredibly difficult for them to have a good emotional connection and give a good emotional support to a woman if they can't even give that to themselves yet, okay? So there you go. Now you know what you can work on to change. If anybody here is not yet familiar with Brandon Tatum, also known as Officer Tatum, he's like a black conservative. Is he with PragerU? I don't think he's with PragerU, but he's been on PragerU before. Does a lot of stuff in the same kind of Candace Owens circles type thing. Anyway, he went on the Whatever podcast recently, and I was surprised to see that he actually ended up getting in a debate with one of the hosts. And I am really curious about what is going to be said here and how they're going to disagree. So it's Tatum Officer versus Brian, heated debate on marriage.
Well, you probably don't want to know my take on marriage, so that's probably the other thing.
For you saying that, meaning that I think you're not favorable to me.
Yeah, he is wearing a shirt that says Jesus saves, by the way. Can Jesus save me from whatever I'm about to expose myself to, please?
Because of the risk factors.
Yeah, and look, I don't have anything wrong from when it comes to marriage from a religious perspective. I'm not like fervently like anti-marriage in the sense that I'm openly like I try to think I'm a pretty reasonable person, but I'm not like antagonistic with it. I've looked at the risk factors like you said, and me personally, I don't want to get married. That I think could be for some women kind of I don't know. Now but here's the thing, like I could have a long-term monogamous relationship with a woman, life partner.
No, but you always have an out. You always have an out. You don't have to make an ultimate commitment. You don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. Without marriage, like
people get divorced all the time, though.
Go.
You can.
What is
so in marriage, you can just go too. You just financially fuck yourself in the process.
Some money.
Right.
But you get.
Yeah, but being fucked financially in the process is an incentive to stay, but not a good incentive to stay, at least. So if these girls are going to take the approach that, oh well, it does help you stay because then you'll be fucked financially. I don't think that's a very good argument.
Right.
But you get married to stay.
Yeah,
really?
So
you know?
That's how marriage works?
Lasts forever.
Don't you think you're limiting your pool?
Get married.
You're limiting your pool because you're not. I mean, most women, it sounds like you want a self-respecting woman, like high value, all these things. Don't you think most of those women would want to be married? Mm-hmm. So you're limiting.
I
your
want
pool.
a woman who realizes. I want a woman who realizes that in this current social climate, in this in this social climate, when it comes to the court system, we don't need to get the state involved in our relationship.
But the truth
I
is
love you.
So why don't you he should marry Pearl.
You love me. We don't need the state.
I agree.
Like the truly
I
feminine
I agree.
would want, like the nature of femininity would want that protection.
The nature.
Don't you think? And I feel like you want a feminine girl.
I do like feminine women, but I don't need. I'm protecting us from the state, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's very true.
I'll tell you this, as a married man, that one of the greatest things I ever did in my
I don't think the state is like this big, bad, evil boogeyman either. People always make it out to be that way, but it's really not like that. Even with the marriage thing, I mean, especially if you don't have kids, you don't even have to split all your assets. It's only the assets that you've acquired during the course of your marriage. I feel like they don't really go in depth much, and they kind of just like assume that the court system's gonna fuck you over, and then they just roll with it.
My life was get married. I have been more productive. I've had more peace. I mean, it is the greatest decision a man can ever make. It's the biggest and greatest investment that you make in the rest of your life. Now, if you're a man with integrity and you're ready and you do your homework and you're willing to pursue.
Yeah, but see, what Tatum is saying is also too simplified, because you can have that in a marriage, in a relationship or whatever, but it has to be with the right person. Hunter, divorce wisdom. That's right, dude. Yo, never get married, man. Karen took the kids.
Even when it gets tough, you get married and you make a commitment for life. Me and my wife are committed for life. Us getting a divorce is not in the equation. And I think because both of us are both mature enough and willing to work through it. It's not perfect. Sometimes we argue. Sometimes she get on my nerves. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you don't quit and give up because she got on my nerves one day. We made a commitment before God. We made a commitment, and it's on record. And it wouldn't behoove me to not put my best effort into it because I got a lot on the line. When you have skin in the game, you're more willing to do more in a relationship than you are if you don't have skin in the game and you could just walk away at any time.
But
I agree with him there as well, that like obviously it's important to be putting work and effort into the relationship, but like if you've consistently tried to do that for a long, long time and it's not working, then I don't know if the mindset that like divorce is never an option. It could be like the absolute worst option, maybe. But I mean, if you're working and working and working and doing everything you can and it's not getting better, then like it is possible that you're just not right for each other.
Given how frequently there's divorce, it's not clear to me that marriage precludes people from, because divorce exists.
Well, you need to look at divorce in segmentation, right? What people are you talking about? Are you talking about people who come together that are equally yoked? Are you talking about people who are Christians? Are you talking about people who get married young? Are you talking about people who get married old? People getting married with children involved? Yeah, there's so many different variations that may not even pertain to somebody like you. Sure. You may not be in the realm of the divorce. There's a lot of people that get divorced for a lot of reasons. That may not be your reason.
I think I'm the guy, to be honest, I've thought about this, and this is kind of, I don't know if this is almost like morbidly sad or whatever. I feel like if I were to get married, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of the dude that gets divorced. I'm the type of dude, I'm just,
At least he's aware about it.
And it's like brutal self-assessment and self-reflection. I just feel as if, like, not all of us can be Brandon Tatum. Like, you're like, cause I'm kind of like the class clown.
I feel like I'm watching like a scene out of Friends without the laugh track right now. This is such an uncomfortable dynamic going on here. Not everyone is like, oh man, like you, Tatum.
Guy, you're like Brandon Tatum. Like you're like, cause I'm kind of like the class clown guy. You're like. You're masculine. You're tall. I mean, how tall are you?
6'2".
6'2". Okay, I'm 6'1". So
honestly, not going so far. My parents been in a relationship for 45 years. They just got married this year with 3 kids, and they have never like divorced. Well, not divorced because they can't, but they were together. So I agree. Like, you don't have to get married, but I don't know if you marry someone.
I just have this like. What's that? Have you seen Minority Report with Tom Cruise? Yeah. What was it called? The things that could see the future, premonitions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a premonition. If I were to get married, she's divorcing me. I don't know. I'm just gonna get divorced.
But why? But why? Huh?
No, this is
you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, she divorces me.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
What?
Women divorce
the
men.
reason that you're doing this, the reason
I'm not going to divorce. I would never divorce.
The reason that you feel this way is because of the things that you read and self-talk.
Yeah, self-talk.
Because if you tell yourself this all the time, or you had negative experiences with women, and you carry that on, you're gonna believe that in every relationship. What you have to do is that you have to start telling yourself a different story.
Stay positive.
You have to start telling yourself, I'm gonna be married.
I don't even know what to say right now. But first of all, they're not premonitions. Those are called like thoughts about the future that could or could not be realistic and reasonable, and could or could not be like an anxious future thought. So there's that. And then the way they're delivering this like, think positively, bruh, like that's really corny, but it is true that the way you think about yourself motivates the way you behave, and the way you think motivates your behavior. So if you're constantly thinking, I'm not good enough, there's no way a girl's ever going to love me, I'm definitely never going to get married, I'm going to get divorced for sure, that could become a self-fulfilling prophecy, because those constant thoughts influence your behavior.
I'm going to stay married, and you have to start looking forward to the woman that you're going to marry. Before I got married to my wife, every day, and people probably think I'm crazy, but I don't care, I manifested it. And the reason and how I manifested, because when I would fly on an airplane by myself, I would envision me and my wife traveling together. I would already think about what me and my wife are going to do.
You wanted
our
it.
children, and you want.
Yeah, but if you're with somebody, okay. But everybody can just fantasize, oh, it'd be so nice to have a girl with me right now.
If you want it and you see it, you believe it in your heart, you pursue it, then you will pursue it with an open mind, and you'll pursue it with the idea that this is going to work for me. Women, like you say all the things about yourself, there's some women that love all of that. Some women don't like a guy like me. They like a guy like you. They like a guy that's funny, a guy that's a self-starter. You know, all of the things that you have that are qualities, there's women out here that like that. If you were a nerdy guy with glasses on and you were geeky and you were into tech, some woman out there loved that guy.
I feel like that guy's more likely to get divorced than a guy like you.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I don't know.
Why?
That's not true, because love is love, man. Some people love people that they resonate with.
Derek Manx one donated
true.
$99. Officer Tatum, glad to see you on here. Men with integrity like yourself will not accept the lifestyle of girls. It is sad to me to see the way society is moving. Ladies, think better of yourselves.
Yo, Derek, very good to see you.
Yo, guys, Derek just donated $100. Where's Derek in my chat? Huh? Where's our Derek? Where's my Derek?
You back in the chat, man. Welcome back. Thank you so much for your message. Appreciate it. Also, I feel like, man, I really shouldn't have brought the conversation there of my own self-assessment of and perhaps I'm being a bit hyperbolic there. Is it plausible that I could marry a girl and not get divorced? Of course. I want to try to redirect my argumentation on this a little bit, though. When it comes to marriage, what... from the societal point of view, because there's often a talk about, and I 100% agree with this, the nuclear family, very important. It's the best way to raise children. But let's say if we were comparing a married couple to a non-married couple that's monogamous, that stays together for life and has children, on a societal impact level, I don't see the difference. What benefit from a societal aspect does to me, there's no difference. And then on a
It doesn't have to have a societal benefit for there to still be benefits in the actual relationship. So for example, it's a societal benefit for there to be good functioning families, stable families. That's beneficial for the economy. It's beneficial for general behavior in neighborhoods and societies and whatnot. So that's a good benefit to have, right? That benefits society. So the first thing that Tatum could do here if he wants to defend marriage is bring up these statistics about how if you compare the happiness rates of couples who are living together, so they're monogamous, they're living together, versus couples who are also living together and married, the married couples are happier. They have more stability. They tend to do better. That's just how it is because of the depth of the commitment, most likely. So that's the first thing. And so if you think that having kids benefits society, which generally it does, or having stable families can benefit society, of course, then marriage can lead to better benefits, because then you have the monogamous couple who's living together and has kids. Their relationship might not be as stable as the married couple who is monogamous with kids, simply because the commitment doesn't have the same depth.
aspect, I don't see the difference. What benefit from a societal aspect does to me there's no difference. And then on a relationship level, I don't really see the difference between I'm going to stay with this woman for the rest of my life partner, we're going to have kids, it's going to be monogamous, there's not going to be infidelity. I don't see the difference.
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, the reason why I put such high value on marriage is because of what I saw growing up with my mother and father, and how my father played. It was patriarchal. My mom stayed home.
Based? Wait.
It was patriarchal based. Yeah.
No,
patriarchy
never mind.
based.
House based, okay.
Based. Yeah, got it. And now growing up, that's what I want from my particular family, and I think that
You want a patriarchal structure?
yeah.
Oh, Brian. Oh. Are we about to get a little bit of a OnlyFans live action here now? Oh, shit.
Oh, you don't need a marriage for that.
I think I do, Because
maybe you do, but I'm saying I fail to see.
Wait, what? You kind of do if you want a patriarchal structure, right? Like, you're going to have a girlfriend who just quits her job and stays home and has kids, then you're saying, right? I don't know.
The difference between a marriage and a committed monogamous life partner. Like, what is the difference? Aside from observing a traditional thing.
Because I want my children to see that we made a commitment through church, because I want to make sure.
Oh, so it's a religious component.
It's a religious component.
Remove religion from it because.
Okay, that's fair then if it's for her personally religion.
Because again, when it comes to marriage, that's not just a religious thing. No. It's also the state's involvement.
I agree that the state is involved.
Because atheist people or a-religious people or agnostic people can also get married.
Yes, I know that. But I think that for me,
I wonder what he would say then about gay marriage.
God played a really central role in my upbringing, and I want my kids to be the same. And I think that a house that has God in it has less discussion, has less arguments, less. So that's why it's important for me.
But you can even not be married and still be religious. Like you could be a Christian, but
that would be going against their religion at that point, because I'm pretty sure it's against Christianity or whatever to like outside of marriage, right? So they probably wouldn't live together first. He kind of is doing like, what's the difference? Here's the difference. Okay, I just took the difference out. Now what's the difference? Like, we just told it to you, and now you're saying, well, what if it wasn't different? Like, then it would be the same, I guess.
Teaching your children Christian values and even then not get married.
Well, no, but I mean, it's specifically.
Yes, I understand marriage is like yes, I get that. But
socially, I don't know. I mean, I think some people, there's some like, people talk about taxes. I cannot give you an argument for why you should get married outside of the religious motivation.
Oh, okay, then just.
You're happier. People live longer. You're more likely to go to the doctor and whatnot if you're feeling badly. You tend to drive safer because you have someone there who cares about you. Married couples, again, compared to couples that just live together, tend to be happier, more stable, and have more. There's also benefits you get, like I bring this up kind of frequently, like if you're in the hospital, members of the family are allowed to come in. That would include a spouse, but might not include just a boyfriend or a girlfriend necessarily. There are other benefits. There's also benefits that if you were to tragically and suddenly die or something, there are benefits then for how you can give your property to your spouse as well. So there are other avenues and other benefits that are included there.
I mean, fair, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know that I'm not the voice of God.
I think it's really romantic that in front of all of your like friends and family, you get up and claim each other, and then if you stick with it, it's like.
Well, it's almost, yes, it's.
You haven't dreamed
romantic.
of your wedding day since you were a little boy?
No, that's. I think that's something women do. But
it's romantic and it's not
romantic.
It's biblical. There's something to it.
But
it's really romantic. Hold on, let me just respond to that.
Okay.
Yes, it's really romantic that you can make this commitment in front of all your friends and family, and it's also very pathetic when that commitment means nothing. When your wife goes and sees a divorce attorney, and you end up getting divorced, and all your friends are like, "Wow, I was there to."
Okay, so he doesn't want to get married because he just doesn't trust women. Then that's his problem. It sounds like he's basically acknowledging that like it's just gonna be the woman. She's just gonna want to divorce me because like women, dude, that's just like what they do. They have the divorce gene, bruh. It's in their blood. Like that's what it sounds like he's saying right now. Like maybe you can work on being a really good partner so that she has no reason to get divorced. Like I don't know.
Witness the vows that you said. I was there to see the words come out of your mouth. Till death do us part. Your words mean nothing. Good day, sir.
But why would I care about what anyone else?
Then,
me and my partner.
Oh no! Don't say that. Because isn't it also important that what everybody thinks or whatever when they all see you getting married? Wasn't that part of the importance mentioned a minute ago?
Her argument.
Okay.
I'm addressing her argument.
Care about what anyone else.
Then,
me and my partner.
I'm addressing her argument.
Okay.
I'm addressing her argument.
Okay.
I'm not like fine. You can have your own thing. But she's saying, well, you get in front of all your friends and family, and then it's this commitment till death do us part. Your words have to mean something. And frankly, nowadays they don't, whether you're religious or not.
Maybe if you hate your last name.
Wait, what?
That's a reason, right?
No.
You hate your last name.
Yeah, but you can get a legal name change.
I have something to respond to you, Brian. If I plan to get married, I'm going in, like he said, till death do us part. I'm going to take the word very serious.
You say that.
Yeah.
But you say that.
I do.
But how many
people...
people...
know that shit does happen and shit might happen, and I'm hoping that it doesn't. But that's why we said we have very deep conversations.
Oh shit! A donor is flaming Brian here. Brian, you're making yourself look weak. I was not that long ago in a relationship with a woman who I would call a unicorn. She was as close to perfect as you get. and I, me, myself, messed up, but at least I'm man enough to admit it. Oh. The real question is, what did she do with the unicorn horn, my friend?
The very strong conversations about having kids, about our healthcare, what if one of us dies, and stuff like
Power
that.
of attorney.
Exactly. I know.
Civil power of attorney.
Exactly.
You can give it to your girlfriend.
I know. But what I'm saying is that I plan to go that seriously, and that's why we have talked
but
about.
But you've not made a compelling argument to convince me.
Let me jump in.
The thing is, Brian, you like said
$50 to be put in your place by a fan. I'll be put in my place by a fan for $50.
that you're already going in with the narrative that someone's going to divorce you.
Because,
that's why you don't take it as that. That's why you.
I think every guy should think that that's a risk.
It's a gamble.
It is.
Marriage
Yeah, but
is a gamble.
it's a worthy.
But hold on, it's not just a gamble. It's also there's a part of it that comes down to you as well, right? Now, if a marriage doesn't work out, it doesn't necessarily reflect poorly on you. Obviously, I don't think that me and my wife, since we came to the conclusion to divorce mutually and whatnot, it wasn't so much the same thing. But if you're like terrified of someone like divorcing you, and then all of a sudden you're like finding out, oh, you're getting hit with the divorce papers, a lot of that comes down to like, make sure that you're doing the best you can to be a good partner. For me and my wife, we were both doing the best we could, and the chemistry was just not there. And it was just, we were both so exhausted from trying for so many years, and it was just not working out. And so we decided to just, go our separate ways and do so as gracefully and kindly as possible. But if you're like terrified of someone going behind your back and like filing divorce or something, like a lot of that you can try to mitigate by being a better partner and being a better version of yourself. So make sure you're mature and ready before you get married if you're scared of this like surprise thing. But again, also people change, people develop, people grow when they are married. And sometimes you end up growing apart and you grow into a different person who your spouse might no longer be attracted to, or maybe you're no longer attracted to her. These things can happen also. So I think that being aware of the risks are obviously important. You shouldn't go in all just blind-eyed with tunnel vision and hard eyes and all this shit. You should be aware that it's going to be take work and effort, but also this notion that it's like there is no way out. If this fails, you're done for. You will live the rest of your life unhappy and miserable and full of regret. Like, hold up. Divorce is definitely not something that should be taken lightly and just done on a whim. But if you've tried everything and the chemistry isn't there, or you've tried everything and it's just not working out, then you need to be able to give yourself grace and forgiveness and let yourself try to move on.
Investment. It's a worthy.
Every guy should think that that's a risk.
It's a gamble. Marriage
Yeah, but
is a gamble.
it's a worthy investment. It's a worthy risk. You say, what is the benefit if it goes well? It's the greatest thing that you can ever do as a man, in my opinion, is to be married to one woman. It's incredibly important for a man to be stable, for a man to have to not focus on all of this other stuff. As a single man, it's very difficult. I remember when I was single, it was difficult, man. Is this woman eligible? This woman, I got to go on a date. I got to spend all this money because I'm paying for the dates. And so with my wife, it's just way different. I came out here. I'm going to the hotel, I'm going to eat breakfast, and I'm going home to my wife. I don't have to play no games. We ain't got to text back and forth. We don't need to do nothing. I mean, when I say text back and forth, meaning that, does she still like me? Do we like each other? It has created such an incredible value in my life. It's worth the investment.
Yeah, but Brian is going to be able to say that you could have that with a long-term girlfriend as well.
Investment. And just like with a contract, nobody in here would just go off of words, right? You have to sign a contract even when we came here. There's a contract for certain things.
Sure. Marriage is
right, and you don't want to just go off of word. Oh, somebody's word. That's not enough. And the what ifs. You will die doing what ifs. What if I started the podcast and it didn't succeed? And you could be out here just in debt.
Tatum is actually kind of
do that.
Tatum is actually kind of making good points here. Not gonna lie.
You never look back in the what ifs. You will die doing what ifs. What if I started the podcast and it didn't succeed? Right? There's a possibility the podcast cannot succeed and you could be out here just in debt and crying yourself to sleep every night. But the benefit of it actually succeeding far outweighs that risk factor in the beginning.
But so, I mean, you mentioned like all these things. You have your wife that you come home to and she's there. But I guess what I'm trying to bring it back to, like, I'm not advocating that men go and live these playboy lifestyles where they just run through women, they just sleep with women casually without any interest in pursuing something more serious or long term. That's not what I want. What I'm saying is that I could perfectly see myself having the things that you have, monogamy, long-term, potentially children, right? I'm struggling to see when it comes to marriage, because all those things that you kind of listed, I could have a monogamous, long-term, loving relationship with one woman my entire life without getting married.
Show me an example of that. somebody that you know that has done that successfully.
I
You probably
have.
have
I
one.
I do.
One though.
But let me ask you,
One?
but
I have
Brandon,
How many do you have?
Brandon,
There's at least
Yeah,
six
but
in
how
my
many
family
examples
that
do
are
you got?
married.
got-
Yeah, but how many people do you know who have been divorced, right? Like you could do the same thing. It's a shame he doesn't know those stats.
One. Everybody else, how many you know that's just in a monogamous relationship, a committed relationship, and they've been together faithful to one another for a period of time, a long period of time?
My brother.
One, six.
One.
How many?
Zero.
and
0.
So I know a ton of people that's in successful, great marriages and they're happy. And I also know people that have been
Absolutely.
divorced.
Absolutely.
But more than likely, the commitment, the investment into it is more important, and I think it means a lot more to two people. You're gonna have a hard time getting a wife that's the one you want, that's okay with the up in the air stuff. Because you could just leave her at the drop of a dime. She want to know that you're committed too.
Facts.
And I'm not saying every woman is that way, but when you sign that paper, you got a lot to lose, my man. It's less likely
which
for
is
you to walk
exactly
away.
why I shouldn't do it, though.
No, that's why you should do it.
Which is, but you said you have a lot to lose.
So you have
there's
skin in the
want-
game. You have skin in the game.
But
right?
there's
that's-
two people going into it. It's a contract. It's like it's a business. Now you're making it a business
But-
because
but-
you might want it to be like that. What if
That's so hot, dude. It's like a business contract. Oh, you talk dirty to me, mommy. Let's get married. Sign that contract.
she says that she's like that
We
too,
already
and then
talked-
later?
We already
so
spoke
are you
about it.
are you saying that marriage is two people staying together under threat of a lawsuit from the other?
No.
At
I'm saying two people.
The one lady, at times, yeah. Bitch, you leave me, I will see you in court, mother.
Stand together out of love and commitment to one another, and they have all of these qualities and benefits even through the government of being married. And
but
they
I
have their
can-
name legally changed. Like my wife is legally, her last name is Tatum. She is a Tatum. It's not hypothetical. It's not like she put a hyphen on it. She is by law legally. Her driver's license, her passport says Tatum. She's
less
officially a
easy.
part of my family.
Right.
Officially.
But here's the thing: there are women who will go through all those steps. They'll change their last name. There's the marriage certificate, etc., and divorce still happens. So, here's the thing: I feel like most people when they get married, hold on.
Yeah, but the thing that Brian is missing here so massively is why do divorces happen? He seems to be like bewildered by this, and that's the problem. Is the red pill stuff doesn't really offer very good answers, or it just tries to answer you by saying, well, it's because women are like kind of conniving, and you're probably just like a pussy or something. Where in reality, a lot of the reasons that women initiate divorces is because men are not good with emotional support. So by knowing that fact, that's not something to look at and start wallowing about or getting upset about. Rather, now that you know, a lot of the times women initiate divorce because they don't feel emotionally supported. And why is this? This is because men oftentimes, unfortunately, are socialized not to express very many emotions. And if they do, it's kind of seen as a weak thing. So men hardly have a good understanding of themselves emotionally. It's going to be incredibly difficult for them to have a good emotional connection and give a good emotional support to a woman if they can't even give that to themselves yet. Okay? So there you go. Now you know what you can work on to change. And now because you know that, you can lower the risk of getting divorced when the time comes for you to get married, if that's what you choose to do. So again, I feel like a lot of this is like, he hasn't really given an argument. It's mostly just like, I'm scared. And he's right that there are risks involved, but he seems to not really have a good understanding as to why those risks are even there. And he certainly doesn't seem to have a good understanding as to how to mitigate those risks.
Alvin Sam donated $99. I'll simplify it. Marriage is designed for traditional breadwinners and not working partners. But the reality is that both parties must be financially independent. So that defeats the purpose of marriage. Marriage is outdated. Abolish it.
It's a business now.
I don't
my
think
whole
it's a
thing. I mean, you're a
business.
businessman, right? You have a very successful YouTube channel. You're a content creator, and I'm sure, like, I've been doing content creation for 10 years. When you're in the content creation space, you do sponsorships. You're negotiating various contracts. Maybe you have people that work for you. So I'm sure you have to some degree, and maybe you have an attorney. But I feel like we start getting a little adept when it comes to, you've reviewed contracts and stuff. And I mean, as a businessman, you never sign a contract with someone who's rewarded for breaking it. And I feel like in today's day and age, women are rewarded when they break the marriage contract financially.
That's what we're told.
They're not really rewarded financially. Like even alimony, the whole thing about alimony is like, that's only if you aren't financially supporting yourself independently. And you don't just pay out alimony and let the woman live on alimony or something. She's only eligible for alimony if she is actively looking for work and looking for a job. And if she's not, if she's just sitting around being lazy and just cashing in checks or some shit, then the court can revoke her alimony. So again, the notion that it's just like they're rewarded financially, not really, because The reason alimony is paid is oftentimes because the woman might quit her job or give up working to, say, raise the kids, and so she has been losing money. She's not being rewarded for breaking the contract. She's just being reimbursed. Oh, you're getting a divorce. Okay, pay up now, haha. No, it's based on how much wealth you lost or sacrificed in the process of the marriage, how long you were married, how financially dependent you were on the other person, etc. There are so many moving factors, and these guys, again, Brian is just simplifying it so badly.
Not just about money. If my wife were to leave me, it's more than money. She'll get some. She has. You got things.
You're a Giga Chad. Brandon, you're a Giga Chad.
But no, she'll get 50%. Right now, she has. You got things.
You're a Giga Chad.
If my wife were to leave me, it's more than money. She'll get some. She has. You got things.
You're a Giga Chad. Brandon, you're a Giga Chad.
But no, she'll get 50%. Right now, she has 100%. That's a big difference.
Well, sure.
She has 100% right now. She get anything she wants.
That's true as well. If you look at divorce rates, on average, both parties do tend to suffer financially after divorce, but the woman suffers more on average and is worse off financially for longer than men on average. So that's also something to remember. Women are not just like cashing in checks from divorce and living the Cardi B lifestyle or something, okay?
She has 100% right now. She get anything she wants. Anything I have is hers. All of it, 100%. She leaves, she only get 50%. And then she lose the connection. She lose the protection. Who do you think keep her safe? Who do you think makes sure she got a roof over her head?
This guy right here.
Who do you think is making sure that they got food? She ain't got to worry about nothing. And I know that it's not everybody, but ain't nobody gonna leave that. That's a net negative for her to leave me just to get money. It's not all about the money.
But would you also acknowledge that in today's day and age with the economy as it is, most couples, they're probably not in the same situation as you. You're obviously incredibly successful. I would say, though, isn't it the case for most people, they need to rely on two incomes, right? So
I think that most people decide to live that way. I don't think they have to. I think people want to have two cars and they want to have all that expensive stuff.
Lifestyle creep?
I think that lifestyle, you can make your lifestyle conducive for the woman to stay at home and the man to go to work. Hey, brother, get out there and work.
That's a little bit tone deaf and not true. It's actually a little bit slower than I was expecting.